I can still see her face. That smug, rehearsed smile. Manicured nails tapping against the polished oak table like she was already counting the inheritance. She didn't even glance my way when the lawyer opened the will. She didn't have to. She thought she'd already won. 5 months earlier, when Dad married Vanessa, I wanted to believe it was love. She was young, beautiful, laughed at his jokes. He was brilliant but lonely after Mom died, and I thought maybe, just maybe, she'd heal him. She called me kiddo, bought me a watch for graduation, made lasagna on Sundays even though she hated cooking. I let her in. I shouldn't have. It started small. Forgot to tell me about family dinners. Changed the locks while I was at work. And Dad? He started speaking in her words. Little jabs about how I was still figuring my life out. Then came the night I heard her on the phone. She didn't whisper. She didn't need to. Once he's gone, it's all mine. The kid won't get a cent. That's how we planned it. I stood in the hallway, gripping the wall so hard my fingers ached. She saw me, ended the call. Her lips curled. Don't look so shocked, kiddo. This is how the world works. I didn't yell. I didn't argue. I smiled, and that was the moment the plan began. Vanessa thought Dad's will was set in stone. She didn't know Dad trusted me more than he ever trusted her. What she also didn't know, months before his health declined, I'd been helping him quietly restructure his estate. When the doctor said terminal, Dad called me into his study. You'll be fine. She's not as clever as she thinks. He slid me a card. Robert, his lawyer for 30 years. We rewrote the will. Dad wasn't cruel. He still left her something. But the bulk of his fortune? Locked behind one clause. One clause she wouldn't notice until it was far too late. When Dad passed, she didn't cry. She wore black, but smiled through the funeral. By day 3, she was meeting real estate brokers. She even cornered me in the kitchen. Don't bother showing up for the will reading. You're not in it. I just said, I'll be there. She laughed like it was the funniest joke she'd ever heard. The reading. The room smelled of leather and dust. Robert sat at the head of the table. Vanessa draped in black silk, the queen awaiting her crown. The opening lines were routine. Charities, staff gifts. Then Robert said my name. Vanessa's smile twitched. And to my son, I leave full controlling interest in the Winston Holdings Trust, including all accounts, assets, and properties, with the exception of the residence at 4 Park Lane, and a living stipend of $100,000 per year to my wife, Vanessa. Her head snapped toward him. That's it? Robert's eyes twinkled. Per the clause in paragraph 14, any sale, lease, or transfer of trust assets requires the sole consent of your stepson. Without his written approval, you cannot liquidate or encumber any property within the trust. Her mouth opened. No words. She turned to me, eyes sharp as glass. You planned this. I leaned back, calm as stone. No, Vanessa. Dad did. I just made sure it was airtight. She pretended not to care, but I watched her unravel. Credit cards declined. Joint accounts locked in the trust. Brokers stopped calling. Nothing to sell. I let her stay in the house, let her believe she was safe. Until she tried to rent out the guest wing without my consent. Then I exercised the clause, sold the house legally. She got her $100,000 a year. Enough to live, not enough to live the life she thought she'd stolen. The last time I saw her, she stood at the Park Lane gates with a suitcase at her feet. She didn't look at me. I stopped just long enough to say, "Guess you were wrong, kiddo." Her jaw clenched. I kept walking. Revenge isn't about rage, Dad used to say. It's about patience, about knowing when to wait until the ground beneath your enemy gives way. And that day, it did.